That's cool shit, right?
That's a good intro. That's a good intro.
What's up, throw that on, man. What up, dude?
That's right. Back to some Long Cut.
Shout out to Long Cut. They're on tour, man. So, for those of you guys that don't know, it used to be our intro song. It's still an intro song for us. JT's a good buddy of mine from the Marine Corps. He was an instructor with me at division schools. Good dude. Another good dude. I'm excited we got on. We've been wanting to get him on for about a month. We've been doing events and stuff, but Chase, owner of Mile High Spirits. If you guys don't know, there's a spot downtown. There's a lot of spots downtown, but there's a spot called Mile High Spirits, and you might not know it, but as far as like atmospherics, throwing corporate parties, throwing training parties, throwing parties like the Avalanche after they won their Stanley Cup, partied here.
Yeah.
But what's unique to Mile High Spirits is they're like a brewery.
Distillery. Right?
Distillery. Motherfucker, I said they're like, motherfucker.
Like a brewery. There you go.
They're like a brewery.
There we go. Like a brewery.
To give people context.
There we go.
Only it's with hard liquor.
That's right.
Correct. So super dope.
Good stuff.
Chase, one of the coolest guys we've ever fucking met. He's on here. We're gonna have some fun. And Chase, we didn't prep you for this. We don't prep anybody for this. But how this works, man, is podcast is called Day 1.0, right? So we start talking stories about, and we've told our stories before as far as like what our literal Day 1.0 was, right? And then stories that kind of go through into like current day, and then kind of like how you still approach every day. Yeah, like it's Day 1.0, and then we kind of end the podcast with just like, hey, what's coming up? What's the next goal for you guys? What are you doing? But funnest part, man, is just getting to know you and like old school shit, like poor Chase, broke Chase, not good looking Chase, fucking whatever Chase was back in the day. Like I'm sure you were always a cool cat, right? You seem like you were cool before anything else, but it'll be fun, man. But let's hear that, right? Like, so where did all this start, man, as far as like growing up, entrepreneurship side? Like, was that your thing? Has it always been your thing?
Man, growing up, I always kind of knew I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't always do it. I worked a lot of different jobs, did a lot of different things, whether it be through high school, not so much, was playing a lot of sports and baseball, football, grew up on the west side of Colorado.
So you're a local dude.
Local dude, West Arvada, Golden, Colorado. A lot of people around me worked at Coors at the brewery, which so kind of always thought of booze and was always a big Coors guy. Still.
So was your house
stick strong?
Was your house like where all the high school parties happened?
A lot of them. Yeah. Mine and my boy Brandon John. Shout out to Brandon. It was one or the other where we went, and there's some good talks about that. You know, there's a big local church, Faith Bible Chapel in Arvada, and they'd kind of say, don't go to Chase's or Brandon's house.
Really? We had a guy like that growing up. His name was Tom.
It was all good fun. It was all good high school fun, but there was this one cat, Larry, who would say, don't go, hey, if you want to be good, don't go hang out at Chase's.
And you're like, who Chase's the fuck wants to be good? I'm in high school.
I'm like, fuck off, Larry.
I want to see what Larry's doing today.
Yeah, fuck off.
We had this cat.
I'm kidding.
I'm going to leave his last name out of it because I don't have permission to use it. Not that he would mind, but his name was Tom. He had this house on the corner. I think his parents worked nights or were just never there. I don't know, but that's where the parties were over at. Two things I learned from this cat, Tom. You didn't have to be shredded and like uber. He was a good looking dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on the guy, but you didn't have to be like a jock to get all the girls. Like he was a cool cat, and girls were attracted to that. And then now this could be rumor. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Don't quote me on it. But one of the girls he was seeing, word on the street was, she did anal to save her virginity. Oh boy! And I was like,
to save her virginity.
And I was like, yo,
a sweet girl.
Yeah,
a sweet girl.
Yo, they what?
Like, she probably went to that church in Arvada.
She probably did.
No, I did.
She probably did.
I went to church. I was a good kid. I didn't even know anal was a thing. And I was like, wait, they do that?
Wait.
Tom's like, smoking his weed. Yeah, bro. I was like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
It's Coors Brewery. Yeah. No. Your house had the fucking
my
party.
house. And it was because of my mom. I mean, God bless my mom. She's still the best. She raised 5 boys by herself. Mimi, Cindy, everyone knows her in my life. Like, and she really, she created that gonna take care of you family, loyalty, culture. That's cool. Whether you were a friend of mine or whether you were her son. I mean, she is that woman. She still travels to every one of my son's baseball tournaments with me. Like, she's the shit. She's something
She's
special.
like, if you're gonna get fucked up, you're doing it here.
So she was, and she's like, and give me your keys, or your car's outside. I want the keys. And she was adamant about that. Not always perfect, because kids are sneaky little fuckers. But
they don't make them like that anymore.
Like they don't, and it's harder to be that, right?
And there's too many Karens
There's more to
world.
risk, and there's more. They come down on you so hard if anything like that. But back then, that was a little more acceptable. Now that shit's. It's too scary to do. Everyone takes shit too serious. So
I knew I liked you, bro.
She's the one that kind of created that culture, and I think it's a huge reason why I've accomplished anything, because that's how I kind of go at business. It's about relationships, loyalty, really knowing people, listening to their story,
working hard, not
quitting. I mean, when my dad's bounced, it was like, she was like, I don't give a shit. I got 5 boys. I was taking care of everything, even when he was around. Let's go. We're going to keep riding. And, she just kept going and doing it. And that's kind of probably where I get it from.
That's me and my mom. My mom passed away my mom passed like 5 months ago, right? I remember talking to her. Yeah,
yes,
bro.
We did talk.
But the way you are with your mom is the way I am with my mom. Man, you know what I mean? Like,
it's
super
you'll meet
cool.
her. You guys will both meet her. She's
hell yeah.
It'll be a cool moment.
Killer, right? So you're cool. All right. So we've established you probably had like a 1993 Camaro IROC-Z, cool fucking hair.
You know what's funny?
All the
drove
parties
a
are at your house.
Suburban around.
Hell yeah.
Suburban.
With all the
mom's. It was my mom's
bitches in it.
It was my mom's old Suburban, and you'd either have 8 homies in there or 8 beautiful women.
I'm trying to get him on something.
No,
he's
Suburban. I drove a Suburban in high school. It was dope though. It was that 3 color. It had the black with the gray in the middle and the red stripe through it. That
super
thing was
80s.
So sweet, so 80s.
What color
thing
was
was
the
like a tank, and then it was like gray interior. Thing was fucking awesome. Cloth interior though, no leather. So cool. It was that gray cloth.
Subs? You at least have subs?
What's that?
Subs.
I didn't put any subs in
a Suburban.
Low key.
I didn't.
Yeah,
you hear I say bitches and he corrects it to beautiful women?
No.
Chase is a statesman.
I love some bitches.
Chase is a statesman. He's very diplomatic. He wouldn't have subs because that causes attention. See? Did you ever take it to man, you guys remember, it's fun kicking it with like old school local cats that are like our age.
Oh yeah.
Because you guys remember Denver, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Do you remember like drive-in movie theaters?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The one off Hamden.
Yeah,
ran for a while.
Yep.
I also like, what about the spots downtown? This may be past, but like Rock Island, or even going to Grizzly Rose.
Man,
even
Grizzly Rose.
The Grizzly Rose, like driving up in the Suburban with some friends on the, when it was all ages, you get those big ass X's on your hands and go hang at Grizzly Rose. Those were great nights, man.
Super great nights.
Such great nights.
Or did you guys ever go out to Third Bridge?
No, I don't know. Third Bridge.
Third Bridge. I don't know if it's real or not. They say
it's real.
See that? See that?
It's real.
Eli's our conspiracy theorist. Bro.
I am.
What is it?
Yeah.
What
I'm
is
Eddie
it?
Bravo of the group.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Third
Yeah,
Bridge
it
is out east. All right, you got to pass 3 bridges.
Yep.
Hence,
Past 2. It's the third bridge. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's apparently supposed to be like an old Indian burial ground.
Really?
So if you go out there right at like midnight, past the 2 bridges, stop on the 3rd bridge, like take all your clothes off and shove a finger in your ass. You're supposed to like hear these Indians fucking call you.
I didn't do
chase
that.
Really?
Part, yeah,
You
man.
didn't?
It's interesting. We went out there one time, and a bunch of kids, or not a bunch of kids, me and a couple friends.
Yeah.
And we in the story that I had heard, some like Indian thing, but like some Indian like massacre had happened there. Not that it was like a burial ground, but some Indian massacre had happened there. So a couple interesting things that had happened. Our one friend who was driving, we were all like driving 3 different cars. He didn't know anything about it. He just knew we were going out to some like haunted place or something, but no backstory, right? And we're all out on the bridge, like fucking around, and all of a sudden, and we were all like, none of us were trying to fuck with each other. None of us were trying to do any of that. And all of a sudden, like one of the girls just takes off fucking like, well, hold on, let me back up a little bit. I'm looking down the bridge. We're all looking down the bridge. I'm holding a flashlight. We're off the bridge, looking at the bridge, and I see what looks like, man, like a kind of like cloud, like translucent kind of fog, like pass through the light. And I'm like, but I'm watching. I don't say anything to anybody. And then I see it pass through the light again. And it looks like this like thing is kind of like zigzagging kind of towards us, like passing through the light. I'm not saying anything because I'm like, it's dark. I'm like, am I fucking seeing that? And then all of a sudden, one of the girls we were with starts like screaming and like tears off running backwards. Of course, we all then like tear off, screaming, run backwards. We get to the car and she was like, there was something coming out of me in the light. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I saw that. So we were about to leave and we're like, hey, let's just chill and sit here. So we're like sitting on the bridge. And then all of a sudden, one of the cars just like peels out, right? Yeah. So we get back to their house and in fucking Parker. And we're all in the house and we get there and the Parker kids, stupid kids.
Ponderosa kids are fucking
bad news.
And the kid that tore off, he was like, man, actually he called us once we got signal. He was like, dude, I fucking saw a bunch of people hanging in the trees. Like was what he said. And I was like,
and listen, man, full disclosure, high school kids are super honest.
Of course. But then we're all sitting there and we're in her house. Maybe 45 minutes goes by. And like, it was probably 2 a.m. at this point. We're literally just sitting on the couch. Like, I think we got Taco Bell or something. And
the only true part of the story.
Yeah.
That's a good part.
Her fucking front door flies open, like aggressively flies open.
What?
And all of us are sitting in the living room, not doing anything, looking at each other like, what the fuck just happened?
It was the Indian that was trying to negotiate anal with that chick out at the third bridge.
So.
Was it the anal to save her virginity?
What the fuck, bitch?
All I thought of during that story is that that's when you're always happy that you have a lady with you or ladies with you because you know 100%. You can always outrun them.
100%.
Dude.
100%.
Yep. And we did. We did, too.
We're allowing these terrible stories to like.
I'm kidding.
It's fun to paint the picture of like how fucking stupid we were back in the day. Like,
very stupid.
That stuff.
Crazy.
Or, man, what was there? There was a couple of other places, but it's fun.
There was an El Dorado Canyon. That's where everyone went in Arvada. It was like West Arvada, and you go up Highway 93.
Okay.
Like about halfway in between like that 64th exit in Boulder is El Dorado Canyon up in there, and everyone would go up there, hang out. That's where you'd go crack some beers. And there was always a story that a girl fell off the bridge. There was a bridge that crossed a river that's flowing good.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's bullshit or not.
Sure.
But there are times people get spooked up there.
But that holds more water
thing.
than.
But you'd always go up there. I mean, because you're straight in the foothills from there. So you just drive up and park somewhere, turn your lights off, and drink beer if you didn't have anywhere to go.
Just for the record, right? Like I was probably at home doing my homework while you guys were doing this.
I know you
probably
were.
At Tom's house.
I'm sure you were. Yeah, you were at Tom's house.
Tom opened my fucking mind.
Sounds like it.
There's just more world out there. Thanks,
That's
Tom.
awesome.
We all have one of those.
So high school, right?
Yeah.
And then did you venture into college or anything else after that?
Played baseball at a junior college, Lamar.
Oh, shit.
Interesting little town.
Yep.
So went down there, then came back, played a year at Metro. Was kind of done with the baseball, helping my mom, little brothers. That's when parents split up. Came back, helped them, then decided to hunker down, finish college, kinda. I went out to San Diego because I thought it'd be fun to go finish school out there and hang with some friends.
You met real partiers.
Yeah, Pacific Beach, Mission Bay, had a time out there.
Bro.
Kind of worked, actually, when I worked my first bars and restaurants was in San Diego. I worked down on 5th Street, downtown, or 6th Street. I get Austin in there mixed up, but bar back in. Yeah, I was living in Pacific Beach first and then Mission Bay and working downtown.
How old were you at this point?
I was 21 then.
Was that like the gas lamp
22.
district?
Gas lamp is where I worked, and then I lived right in
Do
Pacific
you know how
Beach.
many Marine...
Great place to be young.
Do you know how many Marine infantrymen are in gas lamp and Pacific Beach?
Oh, yeah. I met a lot of them.
I accidentally hit a chick with a chalupa in Pacific Beach, bro. You remember bros? You remember what bros were?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Like, you remember how you used to have like the flat brill?
Yeah.
Star tattoos, dirt bikes, right?
Oh, yeah.
You remember bro hoes?
Yeah. Oh,
they were the same thing, just the chick version.
Yes,
right?
100%.
And I remember my boy, man, I'm gonna dime him out. So if we're getting in trouble, we're getting in trouble together. But my boy Manny, he was an instructor with me on division schools, and we're out hanging out on Pacific Beach, just like doing what Marines do. We'll leave it at that. And he was saying something in the truck and making me laugh, and I just remember going, bro, fucking bro ho bitches, and I threw a chalupa out of the truck, dude, driving on Pacific Beach on that main slow street that takes you into the water, not right, like that main drag, and it hit some chick in the shoulder. It was a chalupa, dude. Like it's like a heavy taco.
Yeah,
I get extra beef every time I hit one.
This has that the heavier.
Bro.
Jesus.
I've never seen somebody laugh so hard than my buddy. Hilarious, but like just silly shit, right? So
I
like,
love it.
By the way,
San Diego's wild.
if you're still listening to this
wild.
and you feel like you're an idiot like us, there's hope for you. There's because we're all successful. Believe it or not, we've all made it out. So San Diego,
Yep.
working out there, doing
Came
your
back,
thing.
finished college. Yeah, had a great time in San Diego. Bunch of credits didn't transfer. I'm like, all right, I need to wrap this college thing up. Came back, finished here. Then kind of just went into work. I started selling steel buildings of all things, working for an interesting company, did some interesting sales
Steel
tactics.
building? What do you mean?
And steel I-beams. It was
God,
like,
okay.
There was a company called Premier Steel. John Barber taught me a lot, sent me to some seminars. He and I really had a cool connection. This older black cat that I loved him at the time, but then as you grow and learn some sales tactics that they were interesting. We had
Some of them are illegal.
We had zero steel on site, and we'd be like, that building's about to get tagged. We don't have any left on the yard. And there was zero steel there. We were in the call center.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Jesus.
And there was some of that shit going on.
Yeah.
It was busy. Like it was before, 07, 08, it was early 2000s. So people were ordering shit. It was like steel buildings that people put on their properties that had barns.
Yeah, so you like build a garage outside or something.
a garage, a big garage or a steel building for, agriculture land or something like that. So I was just slanging steel, man. I was like I love putting my marks up on the board. I was competitive, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, no way, this old frumpy motherfucker over here is going to sell more buildings than me. And it would get personal with me, even though I like that guy. That's what I think in my head.
But you got that good raspy voice.
That's what I think in my
You got
head.
that fucking, you got that radio voice. Like if you were to call me, because now it'll say spam and maybe I just don't pick it up. But back in the day, it wouldn't say that shit. And you call me like, hey, Big Will, what's up, bro? Listen, man, we're doing. And I would just listen to
It
this
was
fucking
all
guy.
phone.
Where you
and
keeping all your cars, man?
It was all phones.
He's got that voice on steroids, bro.
100%.
It was all phone sales, and
hell yeah.
I
No
learned a
one could
lot.
Google
I
you.
learned a lot
Yeah.
from there, and it was an interesting job, and was kind of my first sales job. And then went into the furniture business. My ex-wife and I, she was an interior designer.
shit.
I rep some furniture lines and opened a furniture store in Cherry Creek North. It was kind of her dream, right?
Ex-wife makes you vetted, by the way.
Yes, I know. I'm a little older.
No, it just means you're real.
Yes, ex-wife. Ex-wife, been through it. That's for another podcast story, I guess. But we built a cool business. It was running. I was repping furniture lines. Then 07, 08 hit. It wasn't what I loved, and I met my business partner, Win. And like I said, relationship based, man. When I lucked out, but also I look for relationships that kind of lift me up.
100%.
And if someone's really good at something that I'm not, I'm like, this is kind of a perfect dynamic.
Right there.
And me, Joe, and Win started Mile High Spirits 10 years ago. We had our 10-year anniversary this summer, had a great party. A lot of staff came back. It was beautiful. But, like, meeting them was lucky, but also, like, it's why it works. Like we're all so good and bring something so different to the table, and we all respect what we're good at.
But you guys have the same hustle. That's like
Same
Elon
hustle.
and I. When we talk about our business, right? Like him and I, we have the same neurotic shit when it comes to hustle and ambition. But his skill set, like we overlap on stuff. Don't get me wrong.
For sure. We
he
do
brings
too.
such a different value add than I do to the table. And like 1 + 1 is not 2, bro. It's like 10. Big
That's
time.
us, man.
But so many people are trying to find another you. You don't need another you.
Not what I want.
No.
I know what I bring to the table, and I know that we do have some crossover, but we respect the crossover and try to come up with the best solutions, ideas when we do crossover. But we all know in the end that 100% all three of us are loyal to the business first and doing what's best for the business first.
Baller.
When you guys started,
and that's why it works.
when you started, what was the vision for? Was the vision for the company what it ended up turning into, or
kind of?
Okay.
When we first went downtown, we were in where a brewery is right now. Ratio Brewery took over our first space, which is off 29th and Larimer. Awesome space, but it took some serious balls, and Win kind of loved the area. He's like, it's still close to downtown. People still come, but we were the furthest thing north on Larimer and Rhino that was open like after 5 o'clock to the public.
Yeah.
It was, and
how did it start?
Risky move.
Were you guys broke?
So we started,
broke?
we were all broke. I wanted to get out of the furniture business. I'm like, this isn't what I love. I want to do something different.
Did you dress like Al Bundy?
I did do some distribution shit. No, I never dressed like Al Bundy, but I should have. That would have been cooler.
Be him for Halloween.
So Win and I and Joe, we kind of had the same vision, but Joe's like, I don't know about this tasting room. I want to just he was the distiller and the mad scientist. I learned distilling from him, all that stuff. And he's smart as shit and kind of did all that. And he brews. He knows how to make. I mean, he can make if you're on a deserted island, you want Joe and his equipment or his toolbox because you're going to figure out how to fix shit,
he's that dude.
Make things, and make booze. So that's always nice too.
Yeah, because if you can't get off, you might as well just get drunk as fuck.
Get drunk. Yeah. So we decided, they were in Lakewood at the time. They actually had a distillery. They were mostly doing private label for other people. Like, you want to make Will vodka, they'll make it for you. You put your label on it.
And it's a cool thought, right? But that's a hard gimmick, isn't it?
Hard gimmick. If you're not 100% in, we had over 20 private label clients, and some of them did it because they thought it'd be cool to say, I have a vodka brand, but they did something else. It wasn't what they were doing every day, and you got to do it, man, because you're competing against some monsters. Like,
do you guys still do that kind of stuff?
We don't. We've stopped doing private label 100%. The last one we
focus
did
on your
was
brand.
A good friend of mine, Aaron Stanky, who owns Colorado Vodka Company. We love those guys, but that was the last one that we finished producing for.
Yeah.
And it's just, we had to focus on ours. We started doing more tours in the current spot where we didn't want other brands sitting around. It just didn't feel right. And our brands had got to a point where that thing it was great when we started to have that income and that extra money coming in that we were producing all the time and making vodka for all these different brands. But it didn't help the story. You walk through the first time and see 8 different vodka brands sitting there. You're like, what's all this shit?
It's hard to have identity, right? Like, you're a mile wide, but you're an inch deep versus 100%. Like understanding when you're building a brand, you've got to go a mile deep.
100%.
And establish it and just make people want to have your brand.
Especially in this world of
So we can't make a Sweet Dick Willie old fashioned?
I mean, I could put a label on one bottle for you, but
and we could
no more.
No, I want your name on it. I just see how you did a gold stamp. We can't have like a Sweet Dick Willie edition
for sure.
Not for me, for Sweet Dick Willie.
I'm not get that. We can do that.
It's just a guy.
I thought you were Sweet Dick.
Why don't you show those bottles real quick? Let's talk about these while we're on it.
Yeah, man. Him to show him? I'm gonna let him show him. You got it over there?
Yep, you can see it. Yeah, just have him hold it up
right here.
Yep. Actually, let me go to you. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
I mean, we worked hard. Win and Josh Stevens, we redesigned all our labels. We started before COVID, then COVID hit, and we're like, let's do some shit while we're closed.
You got time.
We got shut down completely during COVID, and we're like, we're not going to sit still and say boo-hoo. Let's do all the shit we've been wanting to do for the last 3 years, but never have time to do. So
that's so important to say too, because when him and I, when COVID hit, that's when we made our YouTube channel. We were doing the podcast out of my basement. We started making a pivot of like, hey, how can we get remote to people? Because we can't get in person to them right now. That was one of the biggest pivots we ever did. And every time we talk to entrepreneurs, whether it's local or not, and COVID comes up, and it's big enough to where a lot of people were affected for different reasons, right?
For sure.
Like, for example, real estate, we were still considered essential, but people weren't comfortable going into homes.
Right.
Whether we were essential or not, people didn't want to go walk into someone's house, and people didn't want people in their house. So essential or not, we had to get really creative, right? But the consistent thing I hear from winners, from entrepreneurs that like made it through, was like they found a way to like dig deep and figure out like, hey, what can we do so when we navigate out of this storm, we're bigger, we're better, and we come out on top versus people that sat back on their fucking hands, man.
And that was us, man. We knew we had a lot to do. We redesigned all the labels. We redesigned the entire tasting room. We brought new life to it, brought more color to it.
And it kind of gave you the time to do it, right?
Gave us the time to do it.
Because if you're bringing people in every day, it's hard to remodel rooms.
So we were kind of a mix. We were shut down on the bar tasting room side. Right? And then we were still considered essential on the distillery side. So we were still making booze.
They wanted people to have
sales
booze.
went way down, right? Every bar, restaurants closed, and liquor stores were even iffy. I know all the business went up at liquor stores, but for us, we need people to sell our stuff. Like people were basically calling in, doing curbside pickup and getting your Tito's and Jack Daniels. They weren't walking through the aisle to try something new, you know?
So even though they were up, you guys were down.
Yes. So we did a lot of crazy stuff, man. We made hand sanitizer. We produced all our booze and did a friends and family discount where they could come pick up curbside and we'd load up their trunk. We had a good friend of ours that owns a cattle company and steak company. It was called Mile High Meats, now called Rugby Scott. Really good beef. He was selling beef with our whiskey packages. Cool. People drive by. He had it all in freezers.
That's cool.
Make them a box of beef, and then you get your bottles of whiskey.
I feel
with
like
it.
that's American.
I mean,
dude.
we were doing
that's
crazy shit. Yeah. We were doing everything we could think of, like little markets in there with local companies that sold chimichurri and barbecue sauce.
But dude,
people
that's
come
old
by
school
in
America.
a few at a time. Yeah, it was
like back in like World War II, man. Like when Jeep and other companies started making stuff for the war.
Right, complete pivot.
Complete like pivots. You see Jocko Willick now; he's doing all American made different stuff, but he was making just different shit during the pandemic. Like other companies helping you guys out, but you guys pushing their stuff. Like just whatever the fuck it takes. I feel like that at its core is like your American spirit, right?
Mm-hmm. It's how it
pun
went,
intended.
man. And it was cool, you know. It was cool for so many reasons. One, to pivot and be like, all right, let's do this, let's try this, let's do all this different shit. The hand sanitizer thing was nuts. We were selling ethanol to people that make hand sanitizer because they wanted to make like, you know, organic or scented. And so we're just distilling ethanol and they're buying totes of ethanol to make hand sanitizer.
Fuck.
It was wild, but the coolest part
I
of
came to
it,
you for my race car.
you coulda. The coolest part of it for me was how people showed up, man. Like when you see people that are like, you know what, I'm going to drive downtown instead of to the liquor store today and pick up booze to support my guy.
That's cool.
To support my people. Then you get a little like,
you're
giving people hugs when they pay. You're like, I know we're not supposed to touch, but give me a hug. The fact you showed up means the fucking world to
community,
me.
Man.
And the community was so cool to see it come together. I mean, and it went back. It was people showing up from Arvada where I grew up that I hadn't seen in years. Like, hey, I'm coming to pick up 2 cases of whiskey and 2 cases of vodka. I just wanted to support. And
That's
you're
so
like,
cool.
this is fucking, that was dope.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I felt like beyond like people that passed away and all the sad part to like COVID, for sure, respect.
100%.
The pause and the the humbled timing that it gave everybody to just be a little bit more appreciative.
Yeah.
And just the possibility of like really coming together. It's kind of cool, man.
That's cool.
It is.
And it speaks to your reputation and what people think of you,
cool.
which gives me another business topic as far as like, and like reputation matters. Your word matters. How you treat people matter. Your reputation matters. All of that. Because at some point, like you can't forget or undermine the fact that people are purchasing your service, man. And like you're reliant upon them. People fucking matter.
100%. I mean, our best accounts on premise are that people matter and it's personal relationship, you know?
Yeah.
As much as it sounds silly, it's like, they've never met the guy that makes New Amsterdam, and they've never met Tito. But
And it ain't fucking George Clooney.
it's not George Clooney.
That dude does look good.
He does.
With
God,
a couple old
what's he
fashions I
doing?
would like.
The
What's he doing?
The best part, like the product is fucking good too. So this bottle that you held up, this is an old fashioned in a bottle. Talk about this a little bit.
You know, that kind of came out right during COVID. We're like, people don't know how to make cocktails at home. It was right before that we started messing with it. We couldn't get it to taste just right because of a lot of the like cherry flavors have this synthetic cough syrupy taste to it. Yep. So we started using our Bordeaux cherry juice that we actually use the cherries in our old fashions at the bar. Gotcha. And we're like, we got it. It finally clicked,
and you could taste
everything else was tasting shitty. So we wanted to keep it bourbon forward, keep it at 80 proof, 40% alcohol, and it's a good one, man.
Super good,
really.
A
good.
lot of cocktails in bottles get thick and syrupy, and we want. This thing it turned out nice.
It's amazing.
Really did.
I got nothing in it.
So that was a big
amazing.
one.
But I could also splash some orange in here and throw a fucking peel on it and you're all
100%.
good. Like you wouldn't feel like you're overdoing it.
100%.
You go heavy on syrups and it's like, we got this phrase, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Right.
So you get a lot of syrups for different stuff in this. It doesn't matter what you try to put into it after the fact. From the gate, it's trash.
100%. And we
not.
took the time, like, it tasted like trash a few times when we formulated it. We were like, and a lot of times you could be like, let's just get this to market. And we're like, this has this shitty cough syrup finish
Don't fucking
in the
do
back of your throat. Don't fucking do it.
Yep.
It's not ready.
It hurts your brand. It'll hurt your business.
figure something else out. So that
somebody sees your name on this and they try it, and it's that shitty bottle you guys just had to do.
right.
They never come back to that logo again. Right.
Ever. If they have one bad experience, then they're like, that place sucks.
Yep.
And they'll write it off real quick. And I gotta say, we've gotten better over time. The first year, there was stuff that you're like,
Could you imagine all the bad tasting nights where you're just drunk as shit?
The first year,
bunch of trash?
I mean, our vodka's always tasted good. The vodka's good. It's smooth. Vodka's easier, quicker to make. But I mean, there's so many variables that go into good bourbon or even an old fashioned. Every little thing can mess it up. I mean,
what's vodka supposed to taste like? Nothing? Water?
It's supposed to be a neutral spirit. It's supposed to be as close to neutral as you can. I mean, that is in
clear.
The federal government, like the way they define it is neutral spirit.
Clear.
So clear.
Yep.
And that's why, bourbon, you want more impurities to come over. So that comes off the still like 160 proof, roughly somewhere between there, 155 to like 160 something.
You guys also do tequilas as well.
Well,
but
and then the vodka though comes off the still at 192 proof.
Jesus,
it's pharmaceutical grade ethanol at that point.
So I could put that in my race car.
It's as clean and pure as it comes, and then you blend it down to 80 proof with our filtered water.
Right.
And that's how you get to 80 proof, and it's vodka. So that's how that goes. And then the tequila is the one thing we don't distill.
Because it's tequila.
It has to come and be made in Jalisco, Mexico.
Correct.
So it gets sent up to us in totes, 270 gallons at 155 proof.
Damn.
Full of tequila.
Yep.
But
then you guys do your thing with it.
Then we do our thing. We do run it through our whiskey filter, which really filters it out, and it actually gives it a little bit of smoke-y taste in it. And then we add our filtered water. I was just talking about our water system.
Or like
we could bottle
the
our
strawberry
water.
lemonade one I had.
Yeah, that's
this-
a can cocktail.
Oh, fucking hell, it's so
Tequila strawberry lemonade, TSL, and it's our highest selling drink in the summers in the tasting room.
Yep.
And so we finally put it into a can. And we're canning.
And you guys just have a great way of like creating flavors that don't taste sugary, man.
Don't taste sugary, and they don't have.
But you can taste the strawberry lemonade to it. Yeah,
right.
Not at all. Like they're fresh, they're crisp. Like that one that comes in the can, that tequila one. I would literally just throw some ice in a glass like this, and I crack it open from the fridge and pour it in and just drink it.
And it's good to go. And my problem is that I love it that way, but I always have to add a little more tequila to it because it's 7%. I'm like, I'm a beast. I'm going to pour a little
You are. I'm not a beast.
tequila in.
But I start drinking them so quick, I don't even know I'm buzzed. So I start cussing out my kids and shit. And he's like, whoa, hold on a minute. Like, yo, bro, 4 of those are great. Like, that's why I'm hosing my kid down.
I have four, and I like sit on the couch and tell my kids to come snuggle with me. And they're like, let me go, Dad. And I'm like a teddy bear.
You're a teddy bear.
I'm like, come here, give me a snuggle.
That's me.
I'm like,
that's you.
100%,
That's
dude.
so me.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker will not snuggle me, dude.
Especially my youngest. He's 10 now, so he's getting to the point where he's like, Dad, let go. Like, he's getting to.
Dude, mine's 4 and he don't want to do it.
4, yeah. See,
my son is in like the whole everything dad is or does he wants to do.
Is the coolest, which is the best.
Dad is.
That was my middle son for life, and it still kind of is.
And when you guys have more kids, Eli, your next kiddo could be more of that. Who knows? Like the baby that's on the wave right now could be more of a mom.
Just one. Yeah.
And how old? 4?
4 and a half. Yeah.
But dude, his kid
Love it.
is so cool, bro. His kid is like so emotionally into it. I remember when his son was like a year and a half, Eli would show him a picture of like a dog or something.
Yeah.
And his son would go, "Aw."
Yeah, he still is very
he's just
gets it.
He's got an old soul, bro.
He really does.
Feel shit is cool.
Yeah.
I love that. That's my youngest. The other two are like,
Yeah.
Blame it on
Until I want him to cuddle
feels
me.
so much, man. And he's like, the youngest is such a go with the flow kind of kid, but he feels
that's him.
And it's crazy how different they all are. Like having 3 boys, to see how different they all are. My oldest is kind of sensitive.
How does fatherhood bleed into entrepreneurship? How does entrepreneurship bleed into fatherhood? How do you manage both? How does one complement the other? How do you see being a father? Because you seem like a cool ass dad.
Listen, I have a great relationship with it. I own it. Everyone knows that I am I'm busy with my kids one week. I have them every other week.
Yeah.
And they 100% know, hey, when the weeks I have them, unless it's something extremely important,
I'm going to do my shit.
A wedding,
I'm gonna get out of here.
A wedding, a funeral, something that I have to be at.
Yeah.
Then, that's the only time I leave my kids. Yeah. The week I have my kids, me and my girl, we hang out with them. We do stuff with them. We spend a lot of time with them, and I leave work early.
Yeah.
And then the weeks I don't have them, I put extra time in. I stop at accounts on my way home. Then I'm grinding those weeks. Both weeks I get a lot of shit done the weeks I have my kids, and I'll be on calls when I'm at baseball practice. I mean,
but they're out there hitting balls anyway. It's all good. Like you got a couple moments to fill
100%. I mean, they're doing all their stuff, and I'm sitting there still doing stuff.
And I'm glad you're saying what you're saying,
right?
Like, it's kind of a loaded question. I kind of knew where you were going to go with it because we've talked a little bit about being fathers prior.
Yeah.
But everyone's looking for like this, like, work life, home life, or balance or whatever. We've always seen it. I think maybe it was Jeff Bezos that coined it. I don't know. But we've always kind of seen it of just like work-life integration. Right? Like when I can be home and I'm home, I'm there, we're doing it, we're having fun. But if I got to take a call, I'm going to take that call because it's important. But then when I don't have to take that call and I can come home early, then we're doing it. We're going to the zoo. We're doing something. So it's kind of like
with
this.
The family.
It's like this, just like you have yours every other week. I've got mine every day, right?
Yeah.
But there's still this ebb and flow of like, hey, when there's not as much to get done and I've got an opportunity to go do more, I'm doing it. But then when things have to get taken care of and I got to do it, I got to do it.
100%.
But it's this ebb and flow of like where you can kind of push the momentum.
The kids also see that too, man. The kids have driven down with me.
That's cool.
Because in accounts, like I didn't get my delivery from the distributor. And I'm like, boys, we're going on a trip. We're going to go eat lunch at Mexico City at my boys' spot.
Yeah.
We're going to go get some food in. Then we're going to load my trunk up with some cases of booze, and we're going to drop it off. And they see it.
But they learn. They're watching you be good to your word. Yeah. They're watching relationships.
They learn it, man. They're like, that was cool. They love when we do stuff like that.
That's fucking cool.
They love going to opening day and going by the distillery and seeing people all hanging out there. And I want them to be a part of that. It's not at all that it's separate. It's all integrated and flows together, like you said. It's this ebb and flow.
It has to. It's important for your kids to not just be catered, but to see influence with others and where you can go. Like, it's good for them to not think that they're the center of the universe.
I agree.
Like you are. Yeah. You are.
They are.
But you're not.
But there's other stuff going on.
100%.
There's other things going on.
Yeah. Man, I love like being able to like just show my son that I'm happy to go to work. That I'm not I got to go to work.
Excited.
Oh, my boss is making me go in.
That's a great point, man.
I love being able to show that like, no, I am the fucking boss. I'm excited to go work. This is something that we're privileged to go do.
Eli tells his kid every morning, I'm going to go boss around your Uncle Will. So fuck that guy.
Right.
It's funny, man. My middle one's the only one that's like, your work's fun, Dad. You're not really working. Yep. And I'm like, hey. Took a while to get here, you little fucker. I'm like, watch your dad. He checks me, right? He'll be like, I was with you at work all day. I mean, he's come down and like bottled. I've been like, go work, go help the boys on the bottling line.
Yeah.
Yep,
good.
And it's so cool to watch because he likes it. He sees all those bottles moving through that bottling line. You feel like you accomplished something at the end of the day. I mean, there's still times I love still going down there and hanging out with the fellas bottling and doing stuff because seeing like, damn, we just stacked 8 pallets full of vodka and
is that important?
And they're ready to ship out. It's important for the staff to see that we're willing to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because it's twofold, right? It lets them know you know how to fucking do it, which means when you're inspecting it, you know they know you're looking for it to be done right,
for sure.
So they can't slack. But then secondly, it's showing that like you guys are still in it. You guys are still more than capable to jump in and help
and we
out.
all need to take ownership in it. It's like none of us should walk by the piece of the trash on the floor.
Yep.
None of us. Yep. And I'm serious about that. Like there's a paper towel on the floor of the bathroom. I'm picking that fucker up and putting it in the trash. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, and I hope everyone does
that. Dude, Andy
Not
Frisella
everyone does, but I hope everyone does.
Andy Frisella is the same way. We were on Andy Frisella's podcast. He owns First Form Nutrition.
Yeah.
MFCEO podcast. Huge, big fucking company, right? And their headquarters, bro, is like the size of fucking Old Town Castle Rock.
Really?
It's huge. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
It's Disney. It's Disneyland.
Where's it at?
It's in St. Louis.
Really?
And they've got this state-of-the-art gym that's like a mile long by like a mile wide. It's incredible. But you walk into that gym, every dumbbell's racked.
Yeah.
But the same way. Not even slightly canted.
Logos lined up.
Plates, everything. And if you go in there to work out, he doesn't tell you the rules. He doesn't say, hey, Will, motherfucker, if I see you misplace something, you're never going to be here again. He expects that. If you've been paying attention to First Form, if you listen to the podcast, if you know their culture and what they're all about, you've already heard them talk about it. Secondly, when you walk into that gym, as big as it is, it's so clean.
Pristine.
It's so organized. You can't help but notice. Yep. It's almost more impressive than the damn gym.
Right.
It's so organized. For someone to go in there and not recognize how organized it is and not leave it the same way they got it.
Yep.
They don't deserve to work out in that gym. And that's kind of how he rolls, but it's
Did you
also,
mess with him at all and leave one dumbbell? No. One dumbbell in the middle? Everything away and just one 5-pound dumbbell in the middle?
Because he's serious about it. I don't mind fucking with my buddies. I'll punch that dude in the face before I fuck up his gym.
Before you mess with his business.
He don't care about his face.
Right. The gym in particular.
I hear you.
But the gym is and it's also because it just
sacred ground.
It's sacred ground, but it's a physical
example.
It's a physical example of his ideals and how you should carry on the rest of your day. Yep. But it's interesting because you talk about it at your level, we talk about it, and then you see it at a guy's level like that, right? And you're like, man, like it's not romantic how to get there. You've just got to instill that, and then you've got to scale. But as you scale, you can't water down yourself as a product. You still have to have these core fundamentals and that foundation as you grow your business. And like seeing that dude and being able to go out there and hang out with that guy and be on his podcast.
So cool.
And dude, we got on that podcast. He's very similar to you. He just likes cool dudes. We invited him to be on ours. He was on ours. He could tell we had been following him for a while because our questions and our conversation, I think he could tell we know about you, man. We're fucking fans, right? And he's like, man, you guys are fucking cool. You guys should come be on mine.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, 100%.
It really is cool. Yeah, it's a lot to me.
But this is also what people want to hear. Whether people live in Denver, they listen to this podcast or not, like they want to hear about entrepreneurship and how you guys got started. And speaking of that, getting back to it before we got to let you get out of here. Yeah. What are you guys doing right now to thrive in business? Is there a market shift for you guys? Like there's a market shift in real estate right now? Or are you guys pretty good? Are you guys thriving?
A little bit. There always is at this time as it gets colder, right? We lose that big patio that you guys have seen because people aren't outside. But we just try to throw more events, more community-driven events.
Like corporate events or like real estate events?
I mean, corporate, 100%. Britt, my girl, is so dialed in that handles all the corporate events. Caldwell, who we're all buddies with, is one of my best friends and brings a lot of events down there.
Andrew, right?
Andrew. Yeah, he's my guy.
He's cool.
And he's a whole nother story with him. He lived in my pool. He lived with me during COVID.
Wow, no shit.
Truly, to help me.
Was he just like...
I got to say, his lease was up. His lease was up.
Yep.
Living in a spot on Broadway. And that fucker goes, I'll pay you the same. I'll move it. I know shit's crazy right now. And I have this little pool house that's right there. And he's like, I'd rather live there anyway. And he moved in during the whole COVID.
That's cool, man.
Hung out playing. I'd come home. He's playing catch with my son across
That's awesome.
the pool or on the side of the pool. Like that's the COVID stuff. But
that's cool.
What we have coming is we got a big one on November 11th. My boy Blake, who was on The Bachelor, great dude. He DJs for us all the time. He's actually, I gotta say, he's turned into a great DJ, man.
Has he?
We talked about Pivot.
Playing all these girls. Who would have thought you could play the fucking, you could start playing these tracks,
He plays bangers that girls want to dance to, but he's taken it very serious, and I love that. We talk about Pivot. Like he has pivoted, man, and he's a local kid, Bailey, Colorado.
No shit.
Ended up on the show. He was selling beer. Like his story's pretty cool, man.
Awesome.
I love him, and he supported us since day one, and especially after COVID. He only plays Mile High Spirits.
We'll get his ass on here sometime.
We'll get him on here for sure. We
should all do it next time. Go, Blake.
So,
Blake, come on, man. What's up? Come on. I bet it was awesome.
Listen, no, I love them, man.
That's so cool.
They've shown so much love and respect, him and Eric, and now they're traveling all over, playing shows. He's opened for big country acts. He's played like DJ Silver. I mean, he's done stuff with Kane Brown. He's done stuff with Jason Aldean. Like he's truly,
he's like doing it.
Talking about pivoting.
He's used
during
his platform,
COVID,
man.
He's used his platform.
Yeah.
He didn't just let it fade away. He was always into music, loved music, and he's made it this. He's done great, man. So we have a big 80s ski party. It's like all neon stuff.
That's
November
awesome.
11th with Blake. And then he and his lady, Gianna G, are hosting New Year's Eve. We're doing a steak dinner for New Year's Eve.
Wow.
Which will be early. That'll be a different ticket. And then late night will be the party that he'll DJ and host kind of the whole night.
It's cool to hear when people can use their platform. Like whether you're a veteran, you know, and you use that platform to get you to something else, whether you were a professional athlete and use that platform to pivot to something else, or alcohol, or you're a bachelor.
Man.
It's cool to watch people
100%.
really just take ownership of what they've done or what they're doing to project it into like that next level of success.
It's so true. And a lot of them have a hard time going to that next step.
You got to own it.
They do.
Like George Clooney, though, he's a good looking dude. I want to be like, if George was on, I'd go, come on. That'd be my only question. I would tilt my head and come on. And he'd go, yeah, that's exactly what you think. And I go, yeah.
You think he has a good dick too?
I don't know.
What you're saying?
Man, he's still single, right?
No, he married that Kamal, beautiful.
Look, dude, eventually,
really? Did he?
But
it's
like, does he have it all?
Wipe.
That guy's got. He's packing heat too.
Yeah,
he looks like that. He's accomplished all that.
You hear chicks all the time say you don't have to have a meat hog.
I agree
to get it in.
It's probably just his charisma that makes
endearing.
him. Just,
I don't know.
But
then why wasn't he married a long time? I don't know. Like, but
'cause
eventually you get
fun.
old enough
He
and
fun.
you got to settle down because someone's got to wipe that ass.
Because he had fun. Some of his stories, man. You ever heard his Stern interview?
No, he was on Howard Stern. I'm writing that down.
Unbelievable.
Really?
He talks about some pranks he played on people. He's a huge prankster. He's pranked Brad Pitt.
I would kill that guy for it.
He's pranked Matt Damon. The best one is the story about his roommate in when he first got on the soap opera or on the doctor show.
ER.
ER. And this story is unbelievable. He's living with a comedian who had some work. He had no work at the time.
Okay.
And the guy, he keeps messing with them, and the guy had a cat, and he kept taking the cat shit out of the litter box. And he's like, something's wrong with the cat. It won't shit. His roommate.
What a good harmless prank.
And how it ends is the best thing I've ever heard. He keeps taking it out. It takes him to the vet. They put him on some laxative. They're like, the cat, shit a few times that day, but he wasn't working. Clooney's not working at the time. So he's like, I'm at home to take care of it. This is a long running prank. So eventually I'm like, oh, I know what to do. He's like, I was going to take a shit, and I shit in the litter box.
George Clooney did.
Clooney did.
Oh, God.
George Clooney tells this story on Stern. He shit in the litter box, and the guy, his roommate, comes back and goes, oh my God.
I bet.
What has happened? But something. I think the cat is really sick. Did you see this?
God.
That's
and
hilarious.
He makes the guy think that
you got to be good looking to pull that off.
To pull that off is amazing. It's one of the best pranks I've ever heard.
Especially when you're watching your roommate wrangle a cat in the carrier to take him to the fucking vet, and the whole time you're sitting there
watching him do it. You're watching him do it.
I don't know. Like, I have a lot of patience for some things. I don't know if I have the patience for a joke.
pretty good.
I want to go like, rawr.
Yeah.
Scare
Gotcha.
him. Yeah.
And then,
That's
and
pretty
then
good.
Instant gratification. I scared you. No
he
problem.
has some amazing ones. The rest of them are good. The
I'm gonna listen to
Brad Pitt one is unreal too. You'll listen.
So after November 11th, what do you, as far as like just business wise?
Just business wise, man, we're
What are
trying
you
to
guys
grow
trying to
the
scale to?
brands. We're trying to scale. We keep launching in more states. We're running good in Chicago. Illinois is our best second market. Wyoming does really well with some of our stuff. We're just you know, we want to be the brand that people grab off the shelf. So Elevate Vodkas and Fireside Bourbon are our two biggest sellers, with the 2 canned cocktails being next. Our tequila strawberry lemonade we talked about, and then the Punching Mule, which is a Moscow Mule in a can.
Come
But
on.
we make it all, you know, we do great. Our gin is unreal. Denver Dry Gin, if you're a gin drinker.
Yeah.
That's Joe's baby, our distiller, my other partner that I was talking about, that's his baby. He's a big gin guy.
Really?
He, you know, it's a true London Dry Gin. It's juniper, citrus peel, coriander, grains of
You
paradise.
like gin, don't you?
Love gin, yeah.
Yeah, you're a super clean
really.
calorie.
Yeah, I love it,
Look
yeah.
at him.
See, and
Eli's
it's the
pretentious.
one thing I don't drink. It's
really, yeah.
It's I will. They'll make drinks and I like them.
You gotta be super
but it's not my
sophisticated.
thing.
I know.
Is
No,
that
you
my
gotta-
problem?
See, like me, I can't do cilantro, bro.
No
Like
cilantro. That's Win. He has
Can't
the
do
soap
it.
cilantro
Yep.
thing. You
Bad,
have that?
Bad.
See?
Bad.
See?
Yeah, can't do it.
That's
People-
Win.
Yeah, but gin.
My business partner, same exact way.
Huh.
He can't touch anything. Like they'll bring some cilantro. They put cilantro in it.
literally, you could
It ruins
put
his meal.
Dial soap in my mouth. It would taste the same as
He's
cilantro.
the same way.
It's this.
You're one of
it's
those.
Like, It's this.
And I love cilantro.
Dude.
I love it.
It's this pretentious, sophisticated something. The
So our
guy.
gin, the Denver Dry Gin,
Yeah.
is meant for martinis and gin and tonics. It's like
cool.
a true
Yeah.
London
Yeah.
Dry Gin.
I'll try that next time
and
we're there.
you guys saw that big glass bong looking thing
Yep.
that had.
I
the
assumed it
name
was a bong.
The name
Yeah.
was Walter on it because
Okay.
it looks like a Walter
Oh,
White
yeah.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad device.
Yep.
That's what makes the gin. So we macerate up all that juniper,
Huh.
citrus peel,
Interesting.
coriander, grains of paradise, and that's what makes all the gin.
But you got to have a certain IQ to drink that, right? Eli?
I think so. I think that's why they don't let me drink it.
How could
Eli-
you not like anything with grains of paradise in it?
I know.
Like shit, that's one of the ingredients. How could you not
It
like
is.
it?
Eli
And
eats.
citrus peel, orange
Yeah,
and
man.
lemon peel,
Yeah.
both in there.
Eli
Shit.
eats.
I'm trying to learn to like it.
No,
It's
man.
the one thing
You're
I
not-
don't drink.
It won't happen. You're not
that we-
sophisticated enough.
I know.
It's not in your genes.
That's
Eli,
what I'm worried. It's not in your genes.
It's not in your genes, bro. Mine either, bro. Eli eats pears.
That's true.
For a snack, bro.
That's a good
pears
snack.
are phenomenal.
Pears
Talking
is a
fruit.
great fruit.
It's
Those
the
not
most
the best?
pretentious thing on the fucking planet.
They're soft.
Who
I
eats
mean,
a
I'm
fucking
more of
pear?
an apple with peanut butter guy, but
See?
Yes,
You're
I'll
like
do that
me.
all day. I'll do that all day.
that's a great dessert.
You know what's pretentious? Eating pears isn't pretentious. Pears themselves are fucking pretentious.
Yeah.
Because they're
They
like
sit there.
hard as shit, hard as shit, hard as shit, perfect, ruined.
Got 2 days
you know-
where they're perfect.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
their shape, their silhouette, sexy.
fucking
They're
sexy as
pretentious.
shit.
Those pears are sexy
Little
little
bitches.
bitches. Fuck. Why are those pears so
Have
sexy?
you seen Sausage Party? Have you seen that movie?
No.
I watched
Is it
that.
so good?
Dude, tonight you have to.
I'll watch it.
Go watch
I haven't
Sausage
seen
Party
it.
tonight. You want to talk sexy
What?
food,
And
bro.
I love Seth Rogen. Like,
Go watch
is
Sausage
it,
Party.
it's amazing.
I
Yeah,
watched
it's
it
amazing.
on mushrooms.
I've seen parts of it. My eyes.
I watched it on mushrooms.
I love mushrooms.
Yes,
Dude, I've watched
We watched
it.
it coming down from mushrooms.
No, all right. I've watched it twice. I watched it
I'm
sober.
gonna get you some mushrooms from my boy. Chocolate bars. They're
Please.
unreal.
Yeah, please.
Deal.
And once it's going out there, actually, he's
Yeah. No, we're in.
unreal.
Dude, I watched it sober. Hilarious. And then I watched it on shrooms. And I'm watching this. I didn't laugh once because I was so impressed with the creativity.
And the animation.
Like how the non-perishables were the Indians and shit. And they've been around forever. Like, I'm just like,
The
all
wise
right, I'm
men.
watching the
but
whole
you're
thing.
dude,
seeing
it's
it for
great,
what, and
man.
you go, yo, these guys are brilliant.
This makes
Yep.
sense.
The
It was-
storyline's captivating.
Dude, it was
All right,
fucking.
dude. I haven't watched it.
It was brilliant. And anyone that's laughing
I'm a
right
big
now, we're
movie
like,
guy.
oh, well, what the fuck? Like, you're just not sophisticated enough to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe eat a pear, shut the fuck up, and watch Sausage Party.
Tell me about your buddy's mushrooms.
Dude.
So, like a company?
Yeah, it is. I don't even know if I should like say the company
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
It's packaging. I just am so into the whole thing. I have a few buddies that are all over it and I believe in it.
Yep.
And one is a good friend that has played professional hockey. Him and Andrew Caldwell are the ones that made the Avs end up there for the Avalanche party. They were looking at 3 spots. We were one of them.
Yeah.
And they kind of pushed them through the finish line of like, hey,
Yep.
this
They're
guy-
local.
They're local. He was here when Sakic won the first one, right?
Cool.
Like,
Yeah.
like, and kind of pushed them. We shut the whole thing down. It was a random day. We got all the staff in there and it was beautiful. But Quincy saw one of his good boys. If he comes on, he'd be a great talk.
Okay.
He didn't know what to do after playing professional hockey. He was kind of an enforcer, played 12 seasons, was a badass. Went through every stage of not knowing what to do after playing in the NHL. You know, tried a lot of weed.
You can't just go out and beat people up.
Tried a lot of weed.
You can't go from enforcer to like
tried
civilian.
drinking, got on antidepressants, went through every phase, and did a hero dose where they really gave it to him. He had a shaman with him, like a guy to talk
hero
him through
dose
of mushrooms.
You can do a hero dose of mushrooms.
Yeah,
you don't have to do ayahuasca.
No, it's just a
lot.
It's a big amount.
Yeah.
And they say it's
10 grams.
It's a lot of grams.
I think
How many
I think
grams?
technically it's 5.
5 to
but
10. It depends on they
The
actually
strain
say your
is
weight,
totally different. Yeah,
your strain. They know
Yeah.
what strain they want to weigh you. It's like an experience. It's similar to an ayahuasca experience from what I've been told.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm signed up to go do one.
Oh, cool.
But I haven't done it yet, so I'll let you guys know. But it changed his boy's life. His friend who was just didn't know what to do after hockey and was really in a state of depression. Went and did it. They say it, and he's like, you gotta just, he's like, we all have our baggage. We all have issues floating around in our head.
Yeah.
You go do this, and it will make you dive into them, and you'll be settled with them afterwards.
Wow.
He's done it twice. Kyle's done it twice.
So he's creating a product around this now?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we need a brand called A Lot.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's a
Mushrooms.
brand called A Lot. Like a lot of what?
There's a lot.
A lot of
Just a lot of
gotcha.
shit.
What do you need?
Yeah.
We got a lot.
A lot of
Yeah,
shit.
I know. It's
Got
true.
a lot of shit
We
to
kind of
deal
know
with.
a guy for everything.
It's
Like
true.
our
You
brand
do.
could be A Lot.
You
Like,
guys do.
Yeah, man. We'll get to that another day. Super
Yeah,
cool,
I'm
man.
curious about the commercialization of
I am too.
mushrooms.
I'm curious about this, if it's going to pass on this current vote.
When are you doing that? When are you doing that experience? That fucking recess, that vacation.
I'm going to do it in December.
Oh, yeah. And that's mushroom, right? Not ayahuasca.
That's
It's-
mushroom.
Yeah.
You're gonna see Santa
It's
Claus.
mushroom. I might see Santa.
You're going outer space.
Because it's up in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's up in the mountains.
Yeah, you're going
too.
outer space, bro.
So I'm going to go and do it. Kyle's going to be there.
Yeah.
Take care of me.
Yeah,
But
cool.
It'll
Are
be
you
a
supposed to
good
like
thing.
freak out?
I'm excited. Some people do, some people don't. They just sit there and really feel it and think, and it's good to have someone to talk to.
Yeah. Tim and I did it together. He had done it before, so he was on it while I was on it, but he was also able to just be there to talk me through. And we did a pretty
small
gradual
group, someone you trust.
Yeah.
That was it.
This makes sense.
It was him and I.
100%.
It was him and I in the mountains, and we did
Yeah,
we
that
did
makes
just under
perfect
4
sense.
grams over like 4 hours. We were just doing a gram at a time.
Makes perfect sense.
And like so I didn't get any hallucinations or anything. But I had a lot of the feel. But it let me just dive into some cool shit, man.
Yeah.
It was the perfect.
The colors are
it was
beautiful.
The perfect dabble.
Life looks better.
It was the perfect dabble.
Yeah.
Like not
He-
overwhelming.
yeah.
You
He
could navigate
fucking walked
it.
out, dude, on the back patio with these tie-dye Crocs on. Listen, I'm sitting there
That
waiting.
sounds dope.
I'm sitting there waiting for it to
Sounds
happen.
perfect.
Yes,
I
yes.
wish I was there.
I'm
That
sitting
would have
there.
made me smile so big.
I'm waiting, I'm waiting for it to kick in, right? I'm like, am I fucking?
It was
I got
kicking in.
mushrooms in me. I didn't know it was kicking in. I'm like literally sticking my eyeball into the bottle of like a apple juice bottle. I'm going like,
Orange
all right, let me
juice.
do something weird to see if it feels weird. Nothing's weird. So like, I don't know, man. Like maybe it's not gonna hit me. And like I'm sitting back in this chair. He walks back out, and he's just walking out, and I didn't know it because I couldn't see him.
I just went into like
My
change.
line of sight
Yeah.
was here. Then but then for some reason I like look down and I see these Mickey Mouse things. But it was cool because it was like on mushrooms. It was like so funny, but it was funny because it was like also beautiful because it was so him.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, those are so embarrassing, but it's so beautiful that you're that comfortable
you're in 'em.
to be with me.
Yeah,
like
In
this.
those.
But as I tried to say it was beautiful, I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
So funny.
And then I
I
had a
love
moment.
that.
I had a moment where I was crying, and and we'll leave it at that. But I had a moment where I was crying.
Yeah.
And then the laugh
I've
came.
had those.
The laugh came back,
Yeah.
and I literally looked up, and I was like, "Thank you," like to
Yeah.
the laugh or to the mushroom. And
Felt good.
Yeah, the
because it
humor.
was like,
Yeah.
hey, just
Humor.
understanding like trying times, hard times, sad times, but like
Feel it. It's
fi-
beautiful,
but
man.
there's always going to be some humor and some lightness
Yeah.
to it all, and it was also like a key indicator, like, hey, things are going to be okay.
Right.
You know, like
What's
and it was
next for you
interesting.
guys, business wise?
We're fucking
Fuck,
taking over.
I
the
know
world,
you
dog.
are.
Everything.
It feels that way.
We're taking over the
so
world.
tell me what.
I'm talking to Joe.
We're talking
Rogan.
business, and I want to know like what's
We're
your
at-
guys.
We're at like 100.
Everyone wants to hear that more than my shit.
Real estate,
They've heard us for a
real
couple
estate's
years
the
now.
big thing with us.
Yeah.
You know, not buying and
course.
selling homes. Like we do a ton of that, but
Yeah.
that's not the end goal. For us, like I know our true passion lies with agents building their brand, helping them create real massive change for their family financially. Like one of the coolest fucking things that happened this past year was we've got an agent down in Florida, Sam, and he was actually just one of our last podcast guests. And he was a pretty new agent, started his YouTube channel, started crushing. And man, he's just one of those guys you won't hear from for 3 months. You give him a little tip, he implements it. 3-4 months later, he hits you back up. Hey, I did this. Now this is kind of where I'm at. But man, he made this statement to where he had I think he had one kid before, and they were pregnant as he was kind of building his YouTube channel. Talked to him about getting a buyer agent. He got a buyer agent, and he was having some like self-limiting beliefs. He was only like an agent for like 6 months or something at this point, maybe a year. But man, he was able to be at home for like the first like 90 fucking days of having his baby. Like didn't do any transactions. His buyer agent was balling out. He was making a ton of money on commissions and didn't leave his baby's side for 3 months. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking incredible, man. Like that kid is literally going to have a different life now than if dad wasn't there showing homes.
But I was also low key like, yo, why are you trying to be a better dad than me? Because I can't be by that baby's side.
Which I got to say, what I love seeing you guys as an outsider and not being in your business at all.
Yeah.
I know that it's really cool to watch you guys do your events at my place because helping people is first.
Yep.
Making money maybe second, but helping people live a better life is first, and that's cool to watch.
Always,
from me being
Has
an
to be.
outsider, which I have nothing to do with real estate.
For us, it goes
other
hand in
than the
hand.
real estate I have, but that is the coolest thing to watch about the two of you. Is it's like the connection.
Yeah.
The conversation that you have with people of like, hey, do this next, and talking to them.
And that's
Real
why it
And
works.
really
Practitioners,
wanting
man.
to help them
Yeah.
is the coolest thing about your guys' brand to me.
How you make your money is important.
Just
Is
so you
more
know,
important than just
from an
making your
outsider.
money, right?
From an outsider, and I saw it the first time you guys stepped foot in the door at Mile High Spirits. I really did.
Hell yeah.
It
No,
was
we
very
appreciate
cool to
that, man.
see.
And like
It was cool to see.
we want to ball out, but how we make our money is important
For sure.
Yeah.
by helping others. And if you're doing the right thing, man, it all comes. You don't have to chase money. If you chase money, it rains, right? Like if you're just doing the right things, and we always feel like doing the right thing is always the right thing.
Right.
And if you're doing those, everything falls into place the right way. If you're trying to chase that shit or prioritize something else and do a shortcut or change the formula with success, that pizza's coming out like shit, bro.
Right.
It ain't gonna like,
I
and you
agree.
and you can't make it up on the back.
Doesn't
end.
feel authentic or real
man.
at all.
From the gate, it's got to be the right
Doesn't.
way. But I got that from my mom too, man.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of that from my mom, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's close to his mom as well. Like, I think there's definitely some things there as far as like all the bitch jokes aside, all the bitches,
100%.
all the funny shit. We're just
100%.
being funny. It's
That's
all about
just
it's all
funny.
about you girls.
Kinda.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
Well,
bitches.
yeah, kinda, but I mean, our moms are left out of that talk completely.
Yeah,
They're
Who-
fucking
somebody-
angels.
Who said like, oh yeah, not all hoes are bitches?
No.
Was that Cat Williams?
Not all hoes are
Oh,
bitches.
man. Watching comedy at home with your girl is dangerous.
It's dangerous.
'Cause you
You
gotta
can start
be-
a fight real quick.
That spontaneous laugh to the wrong fucking joke is
they're
like,
you're an asshole.
it's
Not all
about to not be
hoes are
fun.
bitches.
Yeah, that sounds like a Cat Williams statement, right? I'm gonna
That
coin it.
sounds like
It
it
wasn't
is.
me, that's for sure.
That's great.
It's got to be
man.
Cat Williams.
That's
bro.
great.
Well,
So
we got to do this again, man.
yeah. So
I'd
again,
love to.
tell people the name of your company, the name of your where
Mile
people
High
can find
Spirits,
you.
come down anytime. I honestly, if I'm there, I'll give you a tour.
Yep.
It's that real. If I'm around or you set it up with me, you could buy all our booze actually on our website now. It's shipping drinkmhs.com.
Cool.
And it all ships. It's kind of a funny situation. If you're local, come down to the distillery,
Yep.
get it there because it all ships from DC. That's the only way legalities of shipping
interesting.
hard
Okay.
liquor across state lines. So it all ships from there, but you can get it online now. We just started that kind of in the last year,
Cool.
which is pretty cool because we have friends all spread out and they can finally try our bottled in bond, our single barrel stuff, some stuff we've been working on that when you've been sitting there for 4 to 6 years, you're like, fuck, I want my boy in Chicago to taste this. I want my friend in New York to taste this. You know, North Carolina, there's all these people that you're like, well, you can't make it out here. Just order one bottle and they get to try it and see what we've been doing. But
that's cool.
If not, you come down there, Mile High Spirits, 22nd Lawrence. We're right there. Again, great corporate events. If you want to plan your party, your birthday party, your bachelor party, bachelorette party, like, we'll take care of you and we'll make you feel good and part of the community.
It's a great spot, dude.
And feel special.
It's low-key, got great audio. It's great setup for mics. Like, it's low-key one of the best spots
sound
we've
and music
ever spoke
in
at.
there is unreal. And that's,
it's awesome.
Again, like having a great partner, like my GM, Steven, and Win have made it sound great in there, which it's kind of a hard space because it has that big barrel roof.
But
and there's a lot of echo sound, so we filled it with barrels and sound dampeners and all the shit that I know nothing about truly. And they've made it sound good in there.
You know what would be cool down there? You know what you guys should like make a project maybe for this year? You guys have connections with athletes and different stuff, right?
Yeah.
You guys could low-key do a podcast there before you guys open, once a week, once every other week.
Back in that tasting room area.
In that barrel, how sweet would it look in that barrel room?
Yeah.
I think next time we do this together,
that's a good idea.
You guys leave your cars down south, down here, because we're going to really try some whiskey that day. We're getting fucked up.
Deal.
We'll decide where we're going to dinner after.
Limo it back home.
For real, though.
And we'll limo it back down south because I'm this way, too. And we'll do it in the barrel room, first podcast in there. But I agree.
Not a bad content
Win and
idea,
I have
though.
talked about trying to do that ourselves and just very similar, talking to all the people we love that are great humans in Denver and doing something like that.
You should. And Eli can help you guys set up and everything we run here, all the production.
Cool.
He's uber good with it.
It'd be really cool because there's so many hidden gems in Denver. Like my boy Lorenzo, who's El Chingon. Have you guys ever been to El Chingon? The new one's going to open up because he closed down on Tennyson, and he'll be opening up in the Highlands soon. But it's like the grind to get shit open in Denver right now is real. Like the city's not helping them. You know, it just everything's delayed, furniture's delayed. But I can't wait till it opens. We'll all go to the opening together. It's
what kind
a
of furniture
beautiful spot.
Bar stuff?
All bar, tables. It's all. I mean, it's elevated Mexican food is what he does. It's like
looking at their site right now.
You should see this ribeye that they serve. It comes with sliced jalapenos and onions on it. It's it's
we'll have to hit you up for some places to feature on our YouTube channel.
Bro, we'll put anybody and everybody on our channel. We've got a pretty large YouTube channel. We do a lot of real estate stuff.
You just come to this opening with me. Like, these are my guys. Like,
I'm gonna come to the opening there on that one.
And the other one, you know what?
Yeah.
You're a sneakerhead.
I'm
a sneakerhead. Yep. We have on the 19th of November, we're doing a sneaker fest.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my boy Pete with Pinchy Kicks is we're doing sneaker fest kind of for the holidays.
Thursday the 19th.
Is that a Thursday?
Yep. Jesus, that was January. Hold on.
I got to come down and get some forces.
It's a Saturday.
Listen, so it's a Saturday, the 19th. We have 10 different shoe vendors setting up sneakers, all different sizes.
Cool,
we have food trucks. Like, this is kind of one me and my boys put together. Fit Soda, you guys know those guys. Fit Soda, they'll be there. It's they're sponsoring it. We're gonna make some cocktails with their Fit Sodas, like 0-calorie sodas. They actually taste great.
Oh damn!
My boy Chris, who put that together, and then Chris Barbershop out in Lakewood. Those are my guys. We all grew up on the west side.
That's cool.
And they'll be there representing, and then part of it will be tied to a great charity, lung cancer charity. They're doing a raffle to give away a dirt bike. So that day is going to be dope. I'm actually driving back early because I'm doing sales calls all up in the mountains, Vail and Aspen.
That's the 19th.
19th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
send it to you guys.
Text us. Let us know how we can help too. We can make some calls. We can rally some guys around it. Let's do it.
I will for sure. So that's actually an event I'm super excited about because I have a sneaker problem.
So do I.
Jordan, 1s, 3s, and 4s. Though that's my poison.
That's good shit, bro.
That's awesome.
I'm an Air Force guy. Yeah, I like Air Force.
I do a lot of Air Maxes too, but
Air
1s, 3s, and 4s of Jordans is I do.
We're doing it.
It's a problem.
Next time you guys catch us, we'll be down there with you. We'll be at these events. If you guys got any questions about Chase or whatnot, hit us up. Let us know. Connect with him on Instagram. Connect with me on Instagram. Chase, we're also going to have all this content for your folks so they can chop it up, throw it on your social. And, but until next time, we'll see you guys in about a week or so.
All right. See you guys. Appreciate you listening. Day $1
Thank you guys.
zero.
Appreciate you guys for having me so
100%,
much.
brother.
Means
100%.
a lot.
Thank you, man. All right. Day
Don't cut
$1
him
zero.
off cutting me off. He has to say out.
Day $1 zero. Out.
That has to be his part.
I'ma sip it on down and turn it up.